in 2010, I re-enlisted in the National Guard after being out for quite a while. Really, I missed the camaraderie, especially of only what warriors know is that experience of depending on other men and women, you know, when it really comes down to it. And I had joined a National Guard unit that I knew was going to deploy to Afghanistan within a year. So, you know, it wasn't a surprise to me. And 2012, August 22, to be exact, my vehicle, which I was the commander of, was hit by a improvised explosive device of approximately 80 to 90 pounds. So it completely destroyed it, and my crew was pretty banged up. Really, I questioned why my vehicle, why me? Because, you know, my main objective for being deployed and going re-upping was to try to be a godly influence and demonstrate that I was, you know, leaning on God to protect us. So my vehicle was the only one in our immediate company that was destroyed during the whole deployment. Didn't make sense to me. I was expecting God to protect me. That was, you know, when I had to reevaluate or evaluate my faith. Everything doesn't go great all the time, even when you're a man of faith. And sometimes there is tragedy. And I think a lot of what happened through this is demonstrated how I would react to tragedy. It reminded me that to be a Christian, you know, you have to start out with a childlike faith and believe in something you can't see. But then to remain a Christian when tragedy happens, it takes intelligence and it takes courage to keep going. In a combat situation, people who haven't been there before have no idea what it's like. It's surreal. And when my vehicle was destroyed, it was a shock. A lot of times a soldier, before he sees combat, he wonders, how am I going to react when the bullets fly or the bombs go off? Am I going to be courageous, or am I going to, you know, turn coward and run or whatever? And once he's tested with combat and reacts in a courageous way, then you experience a type of joy. So I know it's, you know, not what we would expect after a tragedy, but with God's presence and being able to prove faith real and to feel His presence in recovery and thankfulness that I survived, it was joy. It was my reaction. I'm glad it was my vehicle. You know, that's kind of crazy, but my vehicle was the most mine resistant, if you will. If there was any vehicle in that convoy that would have survived, the occupants would have survived, it was mine. What I understand is that approximately 22 soldiers every day, or veterans, commit suicide every day, and it just blows my mind. But one of the things I think about is why, and maybe one of the reasons is that they miss out on that camaraderie and also the life and death trust that they have in other people who go through the same thing that they do, depending on someone to help you make it through life, to survive. And I would suggest to my fellow veterans that living the life of a Christian takes courage and it takes knowledge. At the same time, you get to experience a brotherhood that's in many ways even greater than being in a combat zone, depending on other people that way. You get to experience a brotherhood that you know is going to be there forever. There's no greater joy than being able to have a personal relationship where you can depend on Him at all times. So I would encourage veterans, or anyone really, to seek out Christ, because He's real and He's the best battle buddy that you could know.